The global economy is a complex clockwork of cycles and shocks. History's pendulum swings. We have lived through eras of collapse and rebirth. The echoes are growing louder now. Are we repeating the crises of 1929, 1944, or 1971? The patterns are disturbingly familiar. Advanced financial models now point to a single year of reckoning and renewal, 2026. To understand our future, we must first journey back to the roaring 20s. It was an age of unprecedented optimism. The stock market seemed to know no ceiling. The belief was universal. Everyone could be rich. Debt was just a tool for growth. Margin buying became a national obsession. People bet fortunes they did not possess. The underlying economy was weak. Factories produced more than people could afford. Wealth was concentrated in far too few hands. The foundation was beginning to crack. Then, in October 1929, the illusion shattered. Panic seized the trading floors. Black Thursday. The market plunged. An avalanche of sell orders with no buyers. The roaring 20s fell silent. Fortunes were wiped out in a single morning. The Great Depression had begun, a decade of dust, despair, and profound poverty. Banks collapsed, taking life savings with them. The social fabric was tearing apart. The global economy contracted. Protectionist walls rose, strangling international trade. This economic devastation created a vacuum. It fueled extremism and nationalism worldwide. The lessons of 1929 were written in blood and bankruptcy. Or so we thought. We now pivot to 1944. The world is engulfed in a second catastrophic war. Yet, Allied nations planned for peace. They sought to build a stable new world. In July, financiers and economists gathered at a quiet hotel in New Hampshire. This was the Bretton Woods Conference. The goal? Redesign the global monetary system. They created the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, new pillars of finance. The US dollar, backed by gold, was crowned the world's new reserve currency. All other currencies were pegged to the dollar. This promised lasting stability. It was a system built on American economic dominance and, crucially, on gold. For a time, it worked. The post-war world experienced a miraculous economic boom, but this system had a fatal flaw. It was too rigid for a growing world. The US was printing more dollars than it had gold to back them. Confidence waned. By 1971, the pressure was unsustainable. The world faced another crossroads. On August 15th, President Nixon made a historic announcement. He closed the gold window. The US dollar was no longer convertible into gold. The Bretton Woods system ended. This was the Nixon Shock. The world entered the era of fiat currency. Money was now based purely on faith and government decree, not on a physical asset. This new freedom allowed for massive money printing. It also created immense inflation. The 1970s became a decade of stagflation, high inflation, and stagnant growth. Oil embargoes and energy crises shook the world. The system was in turmoil. But from this chaos, a new financial order was born, the age of deregulation. So we have our three archetypes: 1929's crash, 1944's order, 1971's break. Today, we see shadows of all three. The cycle is turning once more. Let us examine the parallels. The speculative frenzy of the late 20s returned. Debt levels have soared to astronomical heights, dwarfing even the pre-1929 era. Margin debt and leveraged bets have again become commonplace in retail investing. Wealth inequality has reached Gilded Age extremes, eroding the social contract. The post-1971 fiat system is showing its age. Global trust is fracturing. The US, like in the 1960s, carries unsustainable debt. The world's anchor is adrift. New powers are rising, challenging the old order, just as before the wars. Protectionism is on the rise again. The ghosts of Smoot-Hawley are stirring. Geopolitical tensions are at a boiling point, mirroring the pre-1944 landscape. So where are we in the cycle? This is where the quantitative models enter. Analysts feed historical data on debt, demographics, and war into complex algorithms. These are not crystal balls. They are pattern recognition engines of immense power. The models track a long-term debt cycle, a concept pioneered by economist Ray Dalio. This cycle suggests we are in the late stage, the stage of printing and conflict. Central banks, like in the 1930s and 1970s, are trapped. They must print more. The only way out of a debt crisis fueled by debt is to create more debt. This devalues the currency, leading to the inflation we are now witnessing globally. The models project these intersecting cycles will reach a climax point A nexus. That nexus, according to the most robust simulations, is the year 2026. Why 2026? It is a convergence of political, economic, and demographic deadlines. The post-war order established in 1944 is now 80 years old. It is brittle. The fiat experiment since 1971 is 55 years old. It is reaching its logical end. Demographic time bombs are exploding in the West and in China. Fewer workers, more retirees. The models do not predict a specific event, but a period of systemic failure. This could manifest as a currency crisis, a sovereign debt collapse, or worse. It will be a painful, disorienting time. a great unraveling of the old world. But within this chaos lies the seed of the next great reconstruction. History shows that after every great crisis, humanity rebuilds. We have no choice. The reconstruction of 2026 will not be like 1944. The world is too different. New technologies will form the foundation. Digital assets, artificial intelligence. The old centralized systems may be replaced by decentralized, transparent networks. The concept of money itself will be redefined, moving beyond the fiat standard. This will not happen peacefully. The entrenched powers will resist this change. A period of conflict between the old guard and the new architects is inevitable. The battle will be fought in legislatures and markets and in the cyber realm. The outcome is not predetermined. The models only show the pressure point, not the result. The year 2026 will be a historical pivot, a year of immense challenge and opportunity. Let us delve deeper into the first archetype, the 1929-style speculative bubble. In the 1920s, it was radio stocks. Today, it is tech and digital assets. The narrative of a new paradigm that justifies any valuation is eerily similar. Irrational exuberance is a virus. It mutates, but its symptoms are always the same. The belief that this time is different is the most dangerous phrase in finance. Now, consider the 1944 archetype, the collapse of a global reserve currency. The US dollar's privilege is not a divine right. It was a post-war agreement. Today, nations are openly exploring alternatives. A new multipolar system is emerging. Gold is being repatriated. New financial alliances are formed behind closed doors. This is not necessarily a hostile act, but a pragmatic preparation for change. Then, the 1971 archetype, the end of a monetary regime and the inflation that follows. We are living the consequences of that decision 50 years on. The debt is unpayable. Central banks are now trapped. Raising rates crashes the economy. Printing fuels inflation. This is the monetary endgame. There are no painless solutions left on the table. The convergence of these three cycles creates a supercycle of historical importance. This is what the models see, a perfect storm of economic and geopolitical forces. The year 2026 is not a prophecy of doom. It is a prediction of a great reset. The reconstruction will be led by a new generation of thinkers, coders, and builders. They are not burdened by the dogma of the old systems. They see new possibilities. Technology will allow for radical new forms of governance and resource allocation. Imagine a global currency basket managed by an AI, transparent to all citizens, or decentralized autonomous organizations that could replace certain government functions. This is not utopia. It is a practical response to the failures of the old world. The transition will be messy. Power never concedes without a struggle. There will be a battle for the narrative. What story will define the new era? Will it be a story of fragmentation and conflict, or cooperation and innovation? The outcome depends on the choices we make today, in the years leading to 2026. We must educate ourselves, understand the cycles, see the patterns as they form. The warning signs are here. Soaring asset prices disconnected from the real economy. A global debt burden that has become a drag on growth and a source of instability. Erosion of international trust and the rise of zero-sum game politics. These are the pre-shocks, the tremors before the major seismic event. The models are not fortune tellers. They are our canaries in the coal mine. They give us a precious commodity that our ancestors never had, foresight. We can see the storm on the horizon. We have time to prepare, to adapt. Preparation is not about fear. It is about pragmatism and resilience. We must strengthen our local communities, diversify our assets, and learn new skills. The reconstruction will favor the adaptable, the skilled, and the connected. It will be a time to build things that matter, not just speculate on paper assets. The year 2026 will separate the transient from the timeless, the fake from the real. So, are we repeating 1929? Yes, in the speculative mania and inevitable crash. Are we repeating 1944? Yes, in the collapse of an old global financial order. Are we repeating 1971? Yes, in the final logical conclusion of the fiat experiment. But we are also repeating humanity's incredible capacity for renewal and rebuilding. The models pointing to 2026 are not a death sentence, they are a birth announcement. The birth will be painful, all births are, but it is a necessary one. The next system will be built on transparency, sustainability, and decentralization. It will leverage AI to manage complexity, not to control populations. It will use digital currencies to foster inclusion, not to enable surveillance. This is the hopeful path, the path of learning from history's harsh lessons. The alternative is a dark age of conflict, scarcity, and broken systems. The choice is ours. Will we be passive victims of the cycle or active architects? We must choose collaboration over isolation, building over speculating, truth over noise. The clock is ticking. The year 2026 is not far away. The pressure is building. Each day we move closer to the nexus. Each decision shapes the world to come. So let us be conscious of our role in this great, unfolding historical drama. We are not just observers, we are all participants, whether we like it or not. The ghosts of 1929, 1944, and 1971 are watching. What will we show them? Will we show them another catastrophic failure, another descent into darkness? Or will we show them that we finally learned, that we built a wiser world? The models suggest 2026 is the year everything changes. It is the end of one long, turbulent era and the start of something new. The reconstruction will be the work of a generation. It begins with a single year. The blueprint is not yet finished. We are all drawing it together right now. With knowledge from the past and tools from the future, we can navigate this. The storm of 2026 will cleanse the system of its rot and its excesses. Then, the rebuilding can truly begin. A chance to correct ancient mistakes. So, are we repeating history? The answer is a profound and complex yes, but we are also progressing. Each cycle offers a chance to ascend, to improve. The year 2026 will be a trial by fire for our global civilization. Let us enter it not with fear, but with clarity, courage, and a builder's resolve. For on the other side of reconstruction lies a world we dare to imagine today. The future is not written, it is built. And the construction begins now,